Hi, I'm Shannon, and welcome to my channel. If you're a subscriber, thanks so much for sticking around. If you're new here, I hope you would consider becoming a subscriber. Today's going to be a little bit of just a let's chat video, an update, because oh boy, a lot has happened. So if chit chat is not your thing, I suggest you jump off this video and check out some of my other videos. But if you want a little update on how my chasing my dream is going and just life in general, stay tuned. I hope you find this entertaining, or if you like real and transparent, well, here you go. So let's jump into it. I feel like a hot holy mess this morning. And in fact, I didn't even clean up oh, nope, this side. I didn't even clean up my desk. So in the background, oh, that gives you a little bit of idea of how I'm feeling and what's been going on. Okay, let's cut to the chase here. If you have been on my channel for any length of time, you know that I am on a mission to chase my dream. And I've actually had a subscriber reach out and say they loved hearing that phrase. It's very intentional. So let's start there. Let's be positive, right? Oh boy. I'm not looking to find my dream. I'm not looking to wait for it to happen. I'm not wishing for it to happen. See, because when you wish for something, my dad, this is very kind of crass, but my dad used to say, wish in one hand, crap in the other, but he didn't say crap, and see which one fills up first. And you know what? Even though that's a really crass saying, it is so true. If you sit around and wish for something, things don't work. Or sometimes it will happen, but I would rather work for something than wish for it. So don't wish, do the work. And so I have a plaque, not a plaque, but a little, you know what? Let me grab it. Hold on. I made this, and this is what I look at. Not a dream, a decision. So whenever I sit down to write, oh, sorry about the focus there. Whenever I sit down to write or I sit down to work, I see this, and it is a reminder to me that it doesn't have to be a dream. I can decide and I can do the work. It is a decision. And when you chase something, chasing means you admit that, okay, there's going to be work involved. You might get tired. There might be challenges along the way, but you don't stop. You might rest. You can rest and still chase your work, but you don't stop. So, yes, I'm chasing my dream. Yes, I am doing the work. I'm not just wishing. Yes, it's not a dream. It is a decision. And that is a really good thing because our lives kind of got turned upside down last week. I'll give you the whole story. We were in one of my favorite thrift stores, Value Village. We had a really quick lunch, and we had both had meetings all morning. So we decided that, we just wanted to walk around for a little bit. And something my husband and I really enjoy doing together is thrifting. We like shopping secondhand. In fact, everything I wear is secondhand. Saves a lot of money. And we enjoy the hunt. In fact, I always tell Jason, happy hunting when we go our separate ways. And we always meet up in books. That's our meeting place. And we're all done checking out our different sections. We meet in books. Well, I'm almost nearing the book section. I've checked the clothing for our two sons. I've checked housewares, things like that. And Jason comes up behind me and says, we have to go. We have to go now. And I got some stuff in my cart. I'm thinking, okay. I said, is Nate okay? Nate was home from school that day. And I said, is it an emergency? And he said, I don't know. But so-and-so from work just slacked me, sent him a DM and said, I need to talk to you now. And so I immediately said, okay, well, do I need to abandon the cart? Can I check out? Do you want to go call from the car? And he said, no. I told him I'm at lunch. I'll be home in 30 minutes or less. Can it wait till then? And this person at work said, yeah, absolutely. That's fine. Just let me know when you get there. So long story short, I rush through, I pay for my stuff, and we go home. It's about a 20-minute drive home, and we have just severe anxiety. Because the last time this happened was last July. I think it was July, might have been June. And my husband Jason got a text message from his supervisor at the time who said, okay, we're about to go into a meeting. And it was a meeting that had been scheduled that morning, and she had just jumped on like seconds prior to the meeting started with the HR person. And they usually let people go on Fridays, and it wasn't a Friday. So Jason, he wasn't concerned because he knew that history had shown they always let people go on Friday. But his supervisor said real quick before the HR person jumps on, this is not going to be a good conversation. He was let go. And I think he would be okay with me sharing that he completely fell apart. He had been at the company for over 20 years. Our son was starting college. It was just, the timing was really crappy. Could not have been worse. So he fell apart. I pulled stuff together and figured out how he was going to apply for unemployment, figured out how we were going to get insurance, medical insurance through the state, figured out how we were going to make things work as best as we possibly could. Again, I work part-time as a writer for a international nonprofit organization, so I don't make great money, but what the money I do make is quite stable, even if it is only a part-time salary. And so things were not as bad as he was feeling they were. And why is that? Because I always know the numbers, and that's another video for another day. I should do that, because how I track our monthly budget and what comes in and what needs to go out really gives me peace of mind, and helps me understand, okay, what is doable and what's not in terms of my dream panning out financially. But again, that's another video for another day. Getting back to the story. So Jason was let go, and we made all these plans in the course of a week, and thank goodness his supervisor at the time pulled some strings, got him on a paying project, and they said, "Oh, just kidding. You can stay working here. You're gainfully employed." That was a year ago. And over the course of the year, this past year, we recognized that what happened then could happen at any moment. And so we rushed home. This was just last week, okay? We rushed home. Jason gets on. It was actually his supervisor. And it turns out there was some big meeting called with about 7 or 8 people, all, I'd say, middle management. And the meeting, they had no idea what it was about. They just let everybody go. No warning. They told them on Monday that their last day would be Friday, and I believe they got very little severance, because at this particular company, you can't accrue PTO or paid time off. Oh, that was another thing. My husband, after being there for over 20 years and rarely ever being sick, had over 60 or 70 hours of PTO, and they just up one day decided that allowing employees to save PTO was a financial liability to the company, so they took it all away and said, "Oh, but you can take time off whenever you want," but it with not any dings or anything. But it's like, okay, they're tracking who takes time off, and holding it against them. Anyway, so long story short, they axed a bunch of people who a lot of us thought were untouchable. And that has just left my husband feeling even more anxiety ridden than last time. It just goes to show that if you, in this day and age, I mean, I guess maybe it goes without saying, maybe we should all know this. Security is nowhere. I don't care where you work. I don't care what you do. I don't care how high up in the company you are. I don't care your skill set. Nobody is safe. And for people like my mother-in-law, who says that working for yourself or being a contractor or bringing in income in untraditional ways is unsecure and unstable, I beg to differ. My husband was at that company for, I think it was 22, 23 years, and he got let go with no notice. And now all these other people who were higher up and were managing other people like my husband, boom, let go. So I guess the point of this video is twofold. One, if you have a dream and you have not done anything to make it reality, to do the work to make the dream come true or come to fruition, what are you waiting for? Because when this happened, I will say this, I was able to tell my husband again, look, this happened before. This happened last year. And we pulled all our ducks in a row real quick, and we were going to be okay. Were we going to be able to live the same kind of lifestyle that we do now? No. But were we going to be able to put food on the table, keep our home, those kinds of things? Absolutely. And so even though it's left my husband feeling unstable and insecure, because really, honestly, let's be truthful here. Who wants to work for a company like that? How can you put forth your best work and give them your all when you know they really don't give a darn about you? They're really ready to axe you at any point, at any time, for any reason. So I've got my husband thinking, okay, we have a plan, and I'm not going to share all of it because in case somebody from that company and people who know us see this, we have a plan. And he is really going to start working on figuring out what his dream is and how can he move forward on that dream. Because, I'll be frank, again, transparent. We're pushing 50. I'm 48, going to be 49 this year. He just turned 49. I'm in menopause, which doesn't help things. But as I told him, we're too young to just roll over and give up, but we're too mature, let's say. We're too mature to... It's scary when you have to go and apply for jobs with, let's be honest, with younger people. So I told him there is no time like the present to do whatever the heck it is you want to do. And go out on your own and figure out a way to monetize it, to make money that way. Because you know what? I don't trust anybody. I trust myself. I trust my ability to work hard. I trust myself to, have self-discipline and motivate myself and meet deadlines and achieve goals. And I said, there's absolutely no reason he can't do it either. And I told him, if you're looking for a fire under your butt, what if you were one of those people in the meeting last Monday and you had no plans, nothing? I said, do you really want to go back to what you felt last year when they let you go with no notice and you completely fell apart? And I said, I'm going to be honest. I love you, but I cannot do that again because it scared the crap out of our kids. They had never seen him completely fall apart like that. And I'm not talking for the day or a couple days after because that's understandable, the shock. But he lost it. And I don't want to see him go through that again. And honestly, no company, no job, no 9-to-5 job or whatever it is worth your sanity. I heard a saying, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. And I told Jason just this weekend, I said, I would rather work every single day of my life doing a job that I want to, that I enjoy, that I care about, rather than saving up money for retirement, which I may never get to enjoy, working a job that I hate that puts me into an early grave. I don't have a problem with working hard. I don't have a problem with things taking time. I've reached the age, I have reached the maturity and the wisdom to say that working a job that I don't care about, that makes me miserable, is not worth my mental health, and it's not worth yours either. So, what am I doing? I'm going to be releasing some videos here in the upcoming weeks, maybe even days, because I'm going to try and pick up the the frequency with which I release videos. I'm going to show you how I have broken down my tasks. We are now in Q2. I am trying to see my dream as a business. It's not yet. I'm not making any money, but you got to put in the effort, the time, do the work before you see any rewards, right? So part of that is being really intentional about my planning. I am breaking down into main goals, into quarters, and then I've taken a whiteboard. I've created what's called a Kanban board, but I kind of made it my own. And to be honest with you, I watched somebody called Sarra Shannon. Full disclosure, she doesn't write the kinds of books that I would read, but she is a very successful independent self-publisher, and I like a lot of her business advice. So you can go check her out if you want. Sarra Shannon, Heart Breathings. But watch my videos too. But she's been a really a motivational asset, a tool for me. And so I'm going to be sharing what I've learned from her and how I've made it my own here on this channel. I'm going to be talking a lot about how I'm building my brand, which if I'm going to be really frank, and this video is getting really long, I'll try and wrap this up. I've been struggling with imposter syndrome. I'm blowing all the sunshine up Jason's butt to try and make him feel capable and adequate. And this is an exciting thing as much as it's a scary thing, because it is. But now I'm dealing with imposter syndrome, which is bizarre because, okay, yes, I want to write fiction, and I'm feeling like I'm not a writer. How can I do this? I'm just, I'm fooling myself. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a writer. I've been a writer for 15 years. That's what I do. And then I go back and forth with myself, and it's like, oh, but you write curriculum, you write nonfiction, you write expository text. And yeah, that's all true. But then I tell myself, wait, you've learned how to write very concisely. You've learned how to write very descriptively, and all of that can translate well into fiction. And so I'm just constantly playing this mind games with myself. And so I guess let's leave on this note. If you have a dream, whether you've started it or not, and you are stuck in your head, I heard it once said, if you're in your head, you're dead. And that's because we can really beat ourselves down with our words. You don't spend more time with anyone else but yourself in your own head. Think about that for a second. Do you talk to yourself like you do a good friend? Do you encourage yourself? Are you realistic with yourself? Again, I don't like blowing sunshine up anywhere, right? The only place I have in my life for fake sunshine would be the artificial window that I made in my office here. And it's fake, but the joy is real, let me tell you. I live in the Pacific Northwest, where it's usually gray and if not rainy. So I love my fake sunshine on my wall, but not in my head. I would much rather deal in reality and see things through, hard or easy, than to just go around with rose-colored glasses on. Because here's another thing I heard. If you're wearing rose-colored glasses, how the heck are you supposed to see the red warning flags? Because when you're wearing rose-colored glasses, every flag is red. So I encourage you to take off those rose-colored glasses. Don't be scared to face the truth, the reality of your situation, even if it's going to take a long time and a lot of effort to get to your dream. Or maybe even you think it's a moonshot. Maybe it could never happen. But stay tuned. Follow my journey of how I'm chasing my own dream and how I'm actually doing the work to make sure that my dream is a decision and doesn't just stay something that I wish would happen. And that's all I have for today. If you've watched to the end of this video, thanks for keeping me company. It's Monday and it's been a hard week. But I'm hoping all the action steps I'm taking make it better, and it only gets better moving on from here. So stay tuned for those other videos coming out. And if you like this kind of video, please give me a like so I know that you don't mind me just sitting here and visiting with you and sharing. Until the next video, bye-bye.